So, what is going on? Welcome to the mix. I'm your host, Rob Wilkins. Throwback should be here any second. So here we are. Like I said, he should be here any second. So this is our. I said last week that this was going to be like the first episode, and I don't know yet. Now I'm starting to like wonder. Am I there yet? Am I where I want to be? I don't know. So I'm going to do the show here. And there he is. There's Throwback. Oh, he lost his cam. Yeah, so this is son of a... Okay. Yep.
This my camera is not working right now. I have no bloody clue why.
Right. Well, this is fantastic. Like I said, I started out like with a bang.
Well, you keep going. I'm gonna try to reset this and figure this out, but hopefully I can figure it out soon.
Yeah, that's
I'm still
good.
Here.
Okay. Well, like I said, this is a cluster. So this is not going to be the first episode again. I've already determined this is not it. Well, okay. So I'm still going to do what I want, like as far as like programming, because I want to get better at this. Last week, I noticed that I was saying a lot, and that drove me nuts. Last time I did that, I knew I needed to fix that, and I did that the next time I was on with Throwback. So I'm going to be doing that again. Aaron, I saw your DM at the last minute. I will have Throwback invite you when he gets everything taken care of, but it'll be a little bit, just so you know, because it's a cluster. Like I said, it's been a cluster. I'm trying to get my notes that I had. And it's fun because I'm getting started in this, and I'm starting to realize how, if you're not prepared, how it will mess you up. So there we are. But it's going to be a big weekend. Last week I started with sports. This week I am not going to be starting with sports. Well, if you count professional wrestling as sports, which I actually do, then I'm wrong. Then I am. See, I'm saying again. Then I'm lying, because professional wrestling is sports to me, and I'm going to start with that this week because it's a big weekend for AEW, All Elite Wrestling. They're having their pay-per-view AEW Revolution this Sunday night at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. I know I said that backwards, but it is what it is. Everybody knows the main event is something that's been talked about. You have an exploding barbed wire death match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. This match is something that I have a lot of experience watching barbed wire death matches. And I say that because I was a tape trader back in the mid to late 90s till about 2001. So I've watched tons and tons of death matches. Everybody talks about like Mick Foley and Terry Funk about their IWA 95 match. It was something else. Don't get me wrong. It was something else. You got the Hayabusa from FMW, just FMW matches in general. Just to tell you how like I am with wrestling, New Jack was my favorite ECW wrestler forever. So that tells you about the violence problems I had when I was in my teenage years, as you can tell, because I like those death matches. But as I got older, I kind of like went away from that. But now I think because there's two guys that I really like in Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, I've never seen like two guys that I'm absolutely just that I love in a death match, and I'm excited. B, I'm concerned, but I do know that it AEW I doubt will disappoint me. I seriously say that because they really don't disappoint their fans for the most part. Sometimes they do, we know, and that's okay. I think we need to realize that.
Still a cluster.
Yeah, see? Are you are you
You're
there?
talking about Moxley and everything about the death match and stuff. Yeah, I picked that up real quick because of the fact that this freaking laptop wanted to mess up with me.
So that's basically what I was starting with. Now Throwback, I know you don't watch much AEW, if at all. Is that right?
Yeah, but by the way, awesome job last night. Awesome.
Thanks.
That was
I had fun.
amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Watching
Good.
hockey, huh?
It's been a cluster.
I'm actually playing PlayStation 4.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go back, but this match, as I made a prediction last night, Kenny Omega's gonna win. Because I figured he was gonna win in the first place just because of how much momentum AEW has with the whole Forbidden Door. The other thing is, it unfortunately came out that, and there's nothing wrong with this, so I don't want it to sound like that, but the fact that it came out that Jon Moxley would be taking some time off after this match, that kind of told me right there he wasn't going to win. And it was somebody like in the wrestling business that said that. It wasn't like somebody making a report. It kind of like slipped out. I cannot remember for the life of me who said that. So that kind of sucks hearing that. But knowing, I think we all, if you watch AEW, I think you pretty much believe that Kenny Omega is going to retain. The next fight is that we're going to talk about the street fight between Sting and Darby Allin. Sting and Darby Allin taking on Team Taz of Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. I'm going to say right now, AEW is not going to make the mistake that WWE did. They're not going to bring Sting in and have him lose his first match. Sting and Darby Allin will win this match. They need this win. Team Taz does not need this win. They're still going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They don't need this win. So I'm going with Sting and Darby Allin. Now, Aaron, you watch AEW, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Now, these first two matches that I've gone over, what do you think so far?
What you're saying, your predictions, I have the same.
Yeah.
Even if Moxley is not taking time off, I still think Omega was going to win this match because there's no taking the title off of him now. Yeah. Not for a long time, at least as long as Moxley held the title for, and that was almost a full year. Well, maybe not a full year, but 10 months from from February last year to December of last year. So 10 months, right? Almost a year. And the Sting and Darby Allin thing, I agree with you. There's no way AEW is going to make Sting lose his first match. Like the way WWE has made him lose his only two matches. He's never won a match in WWE.
Yeah, other than like house shows, you're right. I believe. Yeah, I think he's only won some house show matches. Now, Throwback, have you been paying attention to this card, or have you like watched any highlights or anything like that?
I've been paying attention to certain things, like the matches and stuff on the card and everything. I've been watching a little bit of some of the stuff. I literally, before you said, Omega was going to win, I thought, before I even heard about Moxley going away, I thought Moxley was going to take it, and that's to be honest with you. But I'm right with you with Darby and Sting. I think Darby's going to end up carrying the majority of that match for their side, and just to focus on the fact that Sting is very fragile at this point in his career. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to save the Tag Team Championship and the Tag Team Battle Royal for last because I have it's kind of like what I talked about on Smart to Death last night, and I'll tell you why here in a few minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the next gimmick match that they have listed is the money match between Matt Hardy and Hangman Page, where the winner gets 100% of the loser's 2021 first quarter earnings. It's got to be Adam Page. He's the guy they're building. That's who you have to go with. You just do that. That's the guy that's, in my opinion, just like everybody else's you probably hear, that's going to be the guy that needs to take the title off of Kenny Omega. That is the guy that needs to do it, and I think it will be a while. I think Kenny Omega might hold that title until I could see him holding that over a year. I really could. And I think that would be good for AEW to do that. The AEW Women's Championship match, Shida versus Ryo Mizunami. If I said her name wrong, I'm sorry.
You did.
I heard it is it what is it? Is it what's the last name again?
I think I can't pronounce it, but I think you said it right.
Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you said you got it wrong. I was like, what? Okay, maybe I did.
No, but I thought he said you got it right.
Okay.
I think you said it right, but I can't really pronounce it. But if I say I probably won't pronounce it right either.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. We know who I'm talking about. Sheeta's going to win, though. You got to let her win. And I think what I really thought was going to happen, I thought Britt Baker was going to win the tournament and they were going to put the title on her. But for whatever reason, they decided to not go that route. So Sheeta's going to win. If that's their way of protecting her, I don't really know how that works because they shouldn't have let Nyla beat her.
I think your point when I was reading your notes about it is that if Deonna is with Britt, that changes the complexity of this match. And I think you put Britt and Deonna over at this point. You got to think about it. Deonna is the TNA champion over there for the women's division. So, I mean, you're not going to, it's that whole saying that used to say, you're not going to have your champion not win and look weak where, you're making the other brand's champion a lot stronger,
Yeah. And that's why I think Sheeta's going to win. And the match you're talking about, the buy-in. So that's going to be the free match online. That's right now it's scheduled to be Britt Baker. And they kind of made a hint that if Reba or Rebel was not able to perform, that there would be somebody else. I think with them giving that hint, I think they already know that she's not going to be able to be there or wrestle rather. So I think they are going to bring. This is just a guess. Yeah, they could go like with somebody else. I don't know. My guess is they go with Deonna Purrazzo. That's that. If they were to do that, I think that's the way to go. If Rebel's not wrestling, I think you got to go with Deonna. So, go ahead.
So with the women's thing, I was worried Nyla Rose was going to win this thing. I was worried because I didn't pick her to beat Britt Baker in that match a couple weeks ago. Because then when I saw that, oh my God, Nyla Rose is going to win this and face Sheeta again for like the third time at a pay-per-view. Yep. And then that didn't happen. And then I thought, Wheel's going to win. Unfortunately, Wheel didn't win.
Yeah.
And the Deonna Purrazzo thing, maybe. I'm like you. I don't think Reba's gonna be in the match. I don't know if it's Deonna Purrazzo, but I'll be AEW likes to surprise people. So, and with the Adam Page and Matt Hardy thing, Adam Page has to win here. No, Matt Hardy has to put people over. He's at the stage where he has to put people over, and Adam Page is one of the perfect examples to have him put over.
Yeah.
If Deonna gets into this match into the buy-in, it changes the complexity of the relationship and the overall outlook of the AEW's women's division because you're borrowing from one of the best women's divisions in the world to upgrade a match that's just an online match.
What's going on with NWA? Because they're coming back, right? So what's up with Thunder Rosa? Serena Deeb is still the champion, but I think she's hurt.
Yep, she's hurt right now. I think Sean reported. I don't know. I saw it on Fightful. Somebody else might have reported it, but I know she got her knee scoped recently, and it might have been Jeremy that wrote it. Like I said, I just saw the headline and I didn't have time to click on it, but that's why I don't want to say who reported it because I don't remember. If somebody knows, let me know. So we got that pretty much. The other one that I'm going to bring up too. There's still a couple other matches to bring up, but Miro and Kip Sabian versus Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, I think, are going to win this match, and the reason they'll win. But what I also think is going to happen, and I said this last night, is I think we will see Miro turn on Kip Sabian after the match. That way they can build up Miro more, and I actually think Kip Sabian is due for a face turn. I think he would. I want to see what he could do as a face. I think he could get really popular as a face.
I think both of them could be popular as a face. Miro and Kip Sabian.
I definitely agree, but I don't see them doing that with Miro. Just based off his promos lately, I don't see how you can go with him as being a face. So I think it's going to be Kip Sabian. Plus, in my opinion, Penelope Ford would be a good face too. She's pretty popular with fans, and I've had the opportunity to meet her, and she is a very, very nice woman. Like, she was really easy to talk to. She was friendly, and I think she would be a great face for AEW. I honestly think so. I think that would be a smart move, and they might not even go that route. Like, I don't know. This is, like I said, predictions. So I know I'm not going to get all of them right, and I might be lucky and get one right, or who knows. But
I'll grant you, when you and me do our prediction shows, you're usually mostly right than me for the most part. So the question I wanted to throw out is that, because speaking of Miro, and it's been on my mind for a couple of days, is that we're getting closer and closer to the day that wrestling died 20, where the mass releases, Black Monday, that was. Do you think Miro's the one release WWE did that AEW picked up was probably the worst pickup in the current era, especially since we're in COVID?
I think, well, personally, that was the guy I didn't see them losing. The other thing too is there's 4 people in that whole group where I think WWE messed up. One is Deonna Purrazzo. They didn't know, like, we knew what they had, but the people in charge did not. And that's my biggest problem with WWE is we know what Deonna Purrazzo what she offers. That's why nobody is really surprised by what she's done in Impact.
She worked for them. She worked with them on the main roster for a little bit back in 2016 on SmackDown. They knew,
they just didn't. They just it's politics there. Like, we know.
Put this in perspective, right? And this is just an interesting throwing of fantasy booking. As Deonna now compared to 2016 Deonna.
It's true.
She could be going against Asuka right now for Mania for the Raw Women's title, and that would be an insane match.
Yeah,
I think the problem with Deonna Purrazzo. What I saw in WWE is different from what she's done on TNA. I think her issue was charisma and was lacking and stuff. That she's great in the ring, but she was lacking something else, and that's a character. You call her virtuoso, but what does that mean and stuff in WWE? I think that's one thing she was lacking in WWE was the charisma and stuff. But we never got to see her on TV to express her character. So how could we say that she's not charisma if we never got to see it? And TNA, Impact, they're doing a good job of allowing her character grow.
Mm-hmm.
They're regurgitating the same thing over and over again in WWE, where she was just, like you said, growing.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and move on to the next 2 matches rather quickly, and then we'll move. Or there's technically 3, but I'm gonna go ahead. The ladder match where the winner earns the title for the TNT. Let me restart. They earn the title shot for the AEW TNT Championship. Easier for me to say. Mm-hmm. You got Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, Pentagon, Lance Archer, Max Caster, and to be announced. Now, I've heard different things about this to be announced person. I don't know if this is somebody that signed with the company or if it's just somebody that they're adding into. I've heard some people say it's going to be Sammy Guevara. I don't know why you got to say that to be announced. I don't think so. I think it's going to be somebody from Impact, and I think it's going to be Chris Bay. Is who I think. I think that's where they're going. And I could be wrong. I want to make sure people know this is just predictions. That's who I think it will be. I think it'll be Chris Bay. I don't think it's going to be a free agent. If it is a free agent, then that's on me. I did not know that's what they said, but that's my.
It's not CM Punk. That's been confirmed.
Well, but the thing about wrestlers, they can say one thing and do the other. That's the thing. He's confirmed. My thing too is CM Punk. You'd have to advertise, and the people that think CM Punk's going to be in this. My question is, do you really think bringing him back and having his first match in a ladder match is something that sounds like a good idea?
No,
I don't either. So
you can't bring him in a match. You got to introduce. If you're going to introduce CM Punk, you have to do it in a segment. You can't do it in a match.
And I honestly think you have to announce them.
Too.
him coming back in something like that capacity could actually be. I can't remember the Rumble when Cena came back and was number 30, and nobody expected him to be in
2008, I think.
Yeah, and nobody expected him to be there for the Rumble.
But the difference is
that would be a huge pop.
But I think the difference is 2008 we didn't have this thing like social media didn't really take off, so the wrestling news we didn't care about the ratings that much in 2008. So now in WWE and AEW care about the ratings a lot more now than they did there because let's face it, WWE didn't have other companies competition in the 2000s to 2001. So basically 2019 because TNA tried, they failed. Ring of Honor was never going to get up there. So that's why they're doing the announcing now because they have competition.
So the tag team matches, the buy-in matches, I'll just go ahead and say if it's Deonna Purrazzo, if it's somebody from outside of AEW, Britt Baker and her partner will win. If it's an AEW person, I actually think Thunder Rosa and Rio will win. I know that sounds ridiculous. That's just the way I'm going with it. As far as the Casino Tag Team Royale, there's a lot of teams in there, and I'm just going to go through them real quick, and then I'm going to tell you who I think wins. You got Pac, Ray Phoenix, Gun Club, Varsity Blondes, Bear Country, Top Flight, Private Party, The Butcher and the Blade, Proud and Powerful, Dark Order with Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, and Dark Order with John Silver and Alex Reynolds. The mystery team, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation. Could it be the Good Brothers? Possibly. The thing is this is how I view it. If it's the Good Brothers, they will win, and I think, and I'll go on to say why. If it's Proud and Powerful, I think the winner of this match determines who wins the tag team championship. If the Good Brothers win tonight, or if they're in it, they will go on to face the Young Bucks, and that means the Young Bucks will beat Jericho and MJF. If Proud and Powerful wins the Casino Tag Team Royale, I think Chris Jericho and MJF will win the titles. I think whatever happens is going to build a story. I actually think Proud and Powerful should be the champions in the division. I really do. That's who I think. And I'll let you guys just go in real quick. Let's see here. Let Rob and oh, gotcha. I was reading the bottom there. But yeah, go ahead and let you guys predict, and then we'll move on to outside of wrestling.
If it's the Good Brothers, then that's gonna win. If it's not, it's just a toss up with all these teams. I mean, the talent's there. I mean, AEW's tag division is stacked, but I mean, and I don't want to go backwards because I don't want to have to point out a reason for them to win for just, how wrestling is. Some people are emotional and nostalgic, and what happened a few months ago with, Harper, Brody, it's just, it could be one of those things where they put one of the Dark Order members into that tag title situation just to up, how it is. If you lose somebody, you have friends who lift you up and stuff like that, and keep lifting you higher and higher to get it could be something where they pick one of the Dark Order member teams to push them to get further and, be in one of those things for what happened with Brody Lee. I mean, I'm just spitting ball in here, but that could be an option. But if it is the situation and, the guys at AEW do decide to do something like that, I wouldn't put it past anybody to do that. I mean, there are situations in wrestling where, they pushed somebody up there that was feeling down. I mean, one name is excommunicated from wrestling. We could say that after one person passed away, which we can say, Eddie Guerrero. And next thing you know, that said person is champion. So,
who do you think it's going to be, Aaron?
There's one team that's not in there, and that's null of interest. FTR are not in there.
That is true. That is true.
And
That could be a. I don't think they will win though. I really don't.
no, neither do I. I don't know who's gonna win. It's very stacked division. That's why it's hard to pick this match. I kind of see your point, Rob. I like for the so I'm not gonna have a prediction until Sunday because I have to think about it. But for the Young Bucks and MJF Jericho match, I could see your way, and I could also see it. Gallows and Anderson costing the Young Bucks by accident the titles to MJF and Jericho. How somehow they got involved.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and move on to sports real quick. I don't have many stories. I'm just kind of go through them. NHL.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's this idea with they're introducing NXT women's tag team titles? They have tag team titles.
I don't know. I'm really hoping that's not the case. And I know we forgot one thing we forgot, and I just want to do this real quick before we go. Big Show, whoever he's talking about, his mystery guy. There's so many people rumored. In my opinion, I don't think I know people want it to be CM Punk and Brock Lesnar.
Not.
I don't think it's going to be either one of them. I just don't. I know a lot of people are leaning towards Christian. Raj reports that he signed with wrestling reports he signed with
that
WWE.
when the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer says he's not. Now, what I'll say, and I respect Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer has not been on fire with WWE stuff, so that's all I'll say about that. And that's not a disrespect.
Did Fightful say since the Royal Rumble that he basically has a contract with WWE?
See, that's what I don't know. I can't remember, and like me being part of Fightful, I should know that. But there's so much stuff that comes in and out. I just can't remember. Like I thought he signed, but
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
and some people thought it was Ric Flair. So I see some people say, "Oh, is it Ric Flair?" I'm like, "No, he has a contract with WWE, and he's in the mix of the storyline right now. Why would it be him?"
It's not Ric Flair, but
I mean, I could probably figure a few names in my head down the line that show's been equated to. I mean, I can even throw a name that nobody's thinking that's a free agent is the Great Khali. I mean, they are friends in real life. I mean, that could be an idea. I know that everybody's gonna be like, "No, that's a dumb idea."
It is.
Anything's
possible. That's the dumbest idea I've heard. Yeah, well, I love you, but that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You do not want to bring you don't want to bring him into this AEW crowd. You do not want to do that. That would be a disaster for Tony.
I'm just saying that's a name that's out there that show knows.
He's not a Hall of Fame he's not. I mean, maybe I don't know.
He did win a championship.
Yeah, he is a champion. He has won a champion, and that's considered in some forms. Well, I don't know. I'm just throwing a name out there, figuring that would be a funny name.
Hey, if we went with like champions, I would win too. I would have been a champion in college. I was a slut, and I was also a beer champion. I pretty much slept with whatever. No, that didn't happen. So I'm just going to move on from that. The NHL, NHL has been boring lately. I mean, to an extent. No, I'm talking like story wise. The only thing I'll say, because I know it's what's your name again? No, I know it's Throwbacks team. And
I love you too, my friend.
He's also my favorite player, but Charlie Coyle entered the COVID-19 protocol yesterday, along with a couple other players from the Anaheim
Crosby
and
just came back.
Yeah, Crosby, and then Carson Coleman. He's one of them. So I'm a huge Charlie Coyle guy. He's my favorite player in the NHL. Because he came from the Wild. I've been watching him, and I hope he's good. I'm ready for him to come back already because I'm a big fan of his. So if you guys have anything to add NHL wise, otherwise I'm ready to move on.
Coyle going through the protocol is a major hit, especially for a 14 stint. The Bruins are actually, I think, number 2 in their division right now. So I mean, it's one of those things where Coyle is a huge predominant. It's nothing like a Bergeron injury or a Marchand injury, but Coyle is like a huge hit on a part of their line.
He's a very good third center.
Yep.
Because you have Krejci and Bergeron.
Yeah. So going on to NBA, this is really not much. The reason why AEW is on pay-per-view on a Sunday night instead of Saturday nights because the NBA All-Star Game. That's probably a request at TNT, more than likely.
The All-Star Game's on Sunday.
Yeah. Yep. Then that's that. Oh, it is?
AEW? Yeah, it's on Sunday. It's on the same day.
Never mind. That's weird. Then I don't know. Oh, it's UFC. Duh. Yeah, it's a UFC match. It's a big UFC match. Yeah. That's why. That's why it's not. I should have known that. I remembered once, like I said that. But anyways, the only thing out of there that you got the All-Star Game, so that's cool. The only really thing, yeah, I'm just gonna skip over that. The only thing that I noticed was LeBron James is picking Giannis. Who blames him? You know, he picked him 2 years in a row. There you go.
Before we move from the NBA, have you noticed that, speaking of LeBron, that still images of Space Jam 2 have been coming out recently?
Yeah.
I'm not. Lola, come on, man. What happened with her?
Jordan is the best player of his era. LeBron James is the best player of his era. That's what you got for Space Jam.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm still thinking about Lola. Lola Bunny. What are they doing with her? You made her. Come on. I'm gonna still watch a movie because I love Space Jam when I was younger. I was 15 or 6, maybe 17 when it came out, but I still loved it.
It's great.
Moving on to baseball. This one's really not it's been kind of slow. With sports, I'm pretty much only going to be doing one story, and the only thing that really came out this week that I like is Major League Baseball announced that they will be having Lou Gehrig there. So they'll be honoring the first baseman from the Yankees. And it's going to be, I believe, June 4th. I had the date written, but I don't
you have
see
it
now. Okay.
Yeah, it's June 2nd, actually. You put on there.
June 2nd. Okay. So, yeah, June 2nd. I think that's a wonderful idea. I love that idea. It pays homage to ALS. It'll help ALS groups or charities and stuff like that. I love this idea. So I don't see either one of you disagreeing with that. So
nope.
No, and it's a great thing because they do the same thing with certain charities. I mean, they do cancer awareness, breast cancer awareness, also with the different hats and the bats and stuff. So, I mean, any way to improve a person's life like this, I'm fully for, obviously. So, I mean, it's a great idea. I wish they would do it a lot more with other things.
They should have done it with the ALS challenge back 6 years ago.
When they should have done it. Especially, that would make a bit more sense.
Yeah. So moving on to the NFL, it's been kind of a quiet week other than the Russell Wilson, but I already covered that from last week. The biggest thing about NFL, and this actually ties into something else that I was going to talk about on this show here and there. Aaron, I know that you collect hockey cards. In the NFL,
baseball. I have football cards.
Okay. Well, this past week, I don't know if you saw the story, but Throwback's favorite quarterback of all time, Tom Brady.
I saw the story.
This past week, he had a record card sold for a rookie card for NFL. His card sold for 1.32, I think, million on Thursday on the PWCC marketplace. It's an online auction house. Really cool site. I definitely recommend anybody go check it out. But it was from his 2000 Playoff Contenders Championship card. What's crazy about this, which I think is crazy, is this card was graded by Beckett at an 8 with a 10 autographs with a 10 autograph. I know.
Wow.
There's got to be a better card out there than that. So that just makes me.
If it's rated 10, it'd be a lot more.
Oh yeah,
if it was still pretty good. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, if it was, that's what I'm thinking. If it was a 9-10 or a 10-10, that would. If an 8-10 went for that much, holy crap! What can a 9 go for, or even a 10? And I can't even imagine a pristine.
The thing about this pandemic, the sports card industry is making a huge comeback.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's making a huge one. And we collect, I know. Throwback, do you collect sports cards at all? Or did you ever?
I have a whole box of cards sitting in the studio right now. I have a gold, you know how they used to have for Upper Deck, the gold, silver and platinum editions of certain rookie cards. I have a Terrell Davis platinum rookie card sitting in a case.
I got baseball cards over 30 years old.
When I was a kid, you know what's one rookie card I had, and I wish I still had it, was Ken Griffey's rookie card in mint condition.
And that's going up, and I actually have some of those. I've collected cards pretty much my whole life. My dad, when we lived in Texas, my dad owned a card shop, so he got out of it when we moved. Yeah, it was the greatest. I would go in the summers when he would go on the road for the shows. I got to meet all kinds of people. He would do autograph signings, and he was the first. My dad was the first, and it's not really a brag or anything, but my dad was the first one to ever get Troy Aikman to do a show. And he literally went to, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a set called Pro Set. They weren't around too long, maybe from 90 or 89 to 95, 96. But anyways, they were made in Dallas at the time, and he went to Pro Set and basically bought thousands of Troy Aikman cards for him to sign. And so it was just one of those things that I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people by my dad having that career. So it was really cool. But this card selling for that much, it's awesome. But B, I just couldn't believe it that it went for that much. The previous card that sold that was the highest was a Patrick Mahomes, I think National Treasures. I could be wrong, but it went for $861,000 at a few back in early February. So that's really all I have for sports. I was gonna just move on to video games. I've still been playing NHL 21, but I was gonna say that I did actually pre-order 2 games this past week. I pre-ordered MLB The Show on PS4, and I pre-ordered Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga Deluxe Edition on Xbox One. So I'm anxious to play both of those. Now, Aaron, I know you have both. Do you have both PS5 and Xbox? Yeah. Okay.
Series X. Yes, I have both of them.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have the Switch. I have the Switch too.
Okay. So I don't know.
I have pre-ordered some games. So for the first time ever, I have an announcement to make. I'm converting from MLB The Show from the PlayStation 5 to the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, or going to the Xbox One, but I'm like, and it really depends. I could change it. It depends with my brother. My brother has an Xbox One, but he tends to kick my butt in video games, so I really don't like playing him that much. So I might keep it on PS4. I don't know yet.
You get to build a stadium, man. This year, build a stadium. Yeah. And I am going to pre-order this Lego Skywalker edition for the PlayStation 5. And for the Switch, I pre-ordered 3 games. They don't come out till later this year. Pokemon Snap, because I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Mario Golf.
Oh, yeah.
And the Zelda game.
Yeah, I might have to take my nephew's Switch when Mario Golf comes out.
I'm going to have to dust mine off and then get an Elgato. The only game that really, throughout that whole Nintendo Play thing that they did, the only thing that got me happy was Mario Golf. And that's kind of ridiculous. But the additional characters they have for Smash was okay. It didn't get me oh my God, I have to. The one game that I've been waiting for the longest time, once they announced it about a year or two, it's almost 2 years now. I think that it dropped development, rebuilt up, and now they're redoing it, is Metroid 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
That's Nintendo, man. Also, I've been thinking about Resident Evil. I played the demo. It scared the hell out of me. If you watch that 30 minutes video of I have of it, I'm thinking about it. There's this game called Back 4 Blood. If you ever played the game Left 4 Dead for the Xbox 360, it's basically that.
Okay, cool. Cool. Well, I'm gonna move on. I only have one thing for pop culture. I don't know if you guys ever really into comic books, but I was for the longest time. And
yeah.
okay, so this past I think it was last Tuesday. I might have the date wrong. I don't know, but IDW came out with the Jim Lee X-Men Artist Edition book. It retails pretty high at 135, or I think it retails at 150, but Amazon has it for sale for 135. Basically, just going over it real quick, what it is it's basically Jim Lee's, like it goes into the behind the scenes stuff of the book. So basically, Jim Lee, who has been working on comic books for over 30 years, he's one of my favorite artists. He's what built the X-Men up in the early 90s. This comic like really helped X-Men get bigger. And then after he left Marvel, he went to Image and he did Wildcats. And he was with Image for a while, and then he went to DC and
Batman Hush, man.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly where I was going. That Batman Hush story got Batman. Like Batman's always been popular, but that put Batman on another level too. Yeah. And I think partly that was because like you had, I don't remember. I can't remember if it was before Batman Begins or after, but either way,
it was before. It was 2 years before Batman Begins.
Yeah, so that was an amazing story too. But anyways, this X-Men's Artist Edition. Basically, it's an oversized X-Men #1 of the best-selling comic book in modern era, so it's still the best-selling comic book ever. They'll have different covers. They'll have like the splash pages, the interior pages. Like there'll be they'll show like different scans of the book, like or art of the book. It's basically when they do these books. They are outstanding, and they are actually like award-winning books. That's how cool they are. I have not I used to buy. I'm a huge Todd McFarlane guy. Todd McFarlane. This was the era when I got into comic books more. I mean, I always loved comic books, like even when I was like younger. But that Spider-Man, like that Todd McFarlane Spider-Man run,
Venom, that got Venom.
Yeah, that got me. That's what got me into comics. And then like seeing Jim Lee's X-Men, that like kept it going for me. And so like I've spent a lot of money like in my time on McFarlane and Jim Lee stuff. And eventually I will try to get this. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up for the call. Okay. See you later. You gonna take them off or? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, thanks. I didn't want. That was okay.
For me, for comic books more so, I like the old Stan Lee stuff. Obviously, I grew up more into the cartoon scene of comic books too, like the X-Men, old school '90s cartoon. Some of the original cartoons transmission over, like Duckwing and all these different types of cartoons and stuff. I was
Are you talking Darkwing?
Yeah. I said Duckwing, but I was talking about the Scrooge McDuck one.
Oh, gotcha.
But a lot of these different ones that you can get into. But comic books, I always liked the art style and the different directions and the story and stuff, and how transition they are over time.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a book that I definitely would like to get eventually, but I'm not going to spend $130 on a book right now is basically what I'm saying, as much as I would love it. So going on to like TV and stuff. Well, last week I said what I was watching. I watched the Tom and Jerry movie. For what it was, I enjoyed it. I did. I really did. Now you have to understand, when you watch a movie like this, you're not going to get an Oscar. You're not going to watch a movie that should win an Oscar. If you go into it knowing Tom and Jerry, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll like it. It had the normal Tom and Jerry stuff where Jerry makes Tom look like a chump. So it was for what it was.
Pole and all that stuff. The old school Looney Tunes stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Well, yeah, like old school Tom and Jerry. I mean, that's exactly what it was. So like if you have kids, throw it on, watch it with them. You might like it, you might not, but it for what it is. I enjoyed it. I know Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a nasty score, but you know those people get paid to do that. You know, like I can see where they're coming from. But my thing is you should always go into a movie being entertained, and if you are entertained, that movie did its job. You know what I'm saying?
For me, the Tom and Jerry is just simply classic stuff. I like that because I'm gonna watch it eventually, but I like the commercial where he's like, he's being self-conscious. You're making him self-conscious. I can't stop laughing at that whole thing. But I want to see more of this stuff. They're doing more and more of these half animated, half cartoon movies, more alongs from the first one that was ever like this, and nobody really points it out. It's very good, classic, old school, live action cartoon kind of thing where it's half and half. It was the first one that I'm aware of is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, I think technically there were some other ones, but like before that, but that's the one that got people
hooked on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and the other thing I watched, which I think was outstanding. I already liked them before I even watched this, but the Big E24 on WWE Network was outstanding. I definitely recommend. What was cool is I was at my parents' when I watched it, and my dad actually sat down and like watched it. Like he just sat down at the time it was starting, and he does not like wrestling, but he actually watched that and he enjoyed it. He liked the story of Etort. So it was cool. I really like that story. So
you got his DC stuff going on there.
This is Batman and Joker from the Arkham Asylum games.
Oh,
the
sweet.
First one.
Yeah. Oh, those are the McFarlane ones. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. That's awesome.
I'm just gonna put them back. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So those were what I watched, and I watched like a couple other shows, but nothing that was really worth mentioning. So what I plan on watching this week, I have a little bit more going on for like what I'm watching, and I'll kind of just go through these, and then you can say what interests you after, because we got about probably 9 minutes before Smackdown comes on, or 10 minutes. So there's a new show that came on Hulu today called Boss Level, and what it's like is it's like Groundhog Day but for like action. It stars Frank Grillo, who was Crossbones in the Captain America Winter Soldier movie, and he was in he was in Civil War for about 2 minutes. So that, and the main villain of the movie is played by Mel Gibson. So this is a TV show or a show on Hulu exclusively. It's basically, and when I say Groundhog Day, it's not. This is an action like story. It'll be something else. I definitely, if you like action shows, I think this one's going to be good. I'm going to watch the first episode this weekend. If I love it, I might even binge. I don't know if they're doing a weekly thing or whatever, but I'm going to watch that. The other thing I'm going to watch is, it just came on Netflix recently. Like you guys, like Throwback. I grew up in the 90s. Netflix has a biggie. I got a story documentary on Notorious B.I.G. Basically takes a look at one of the greatest rappers that we know of all time, and they interview the people that knew him best. They made it with the people that are part of Big E's estate. They talk about him. They talk about the things that he's done. They talked about his unfortunately tragic end, and basically the center of rap for, he's still been the center of rap almost in a way for over 20 years. So that's something else I'm going to watch. I have three other things I plan on watching, or actually four. but one of them's not until a week from today. That's Cherry on Apple TV with Tom Holland. That's all I'll say. Next week I'll talk about that more. Coming to America came out today on Amazon Prime.
Just saw it hours ago.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna watch it probably tonight or tomorrow. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall. I love the first one. I'm going into the second one just wanting to be entertained. So I think so that's cool. I'm glad somebody liked it. So I'll be watching that. Another movie I plan on watching is on HBO Max, and that's Judas and the Black Messiah. That it stars Daniel Kaluuya. If I got that name wrong, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's actually right.
Yeah, yeah. And what it is, it's about a man who was offered a plea deal by the FBI.
Infiltrate the Black Panthers. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch either that or Coming to America first. So those two, and then the last thing I was gonna bring up, and then you guys could talk about like this stuff. They released, I think it was yesterday, it might have been Wednesday, Amazon Prime released the trailer for Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. It's going to be starring Michael B. Jordan. It's coming to Amazon late April, I think the 30th. It stars the very talented Michael B. Jordan, who has won awards for his performance in Fruitville Station, Creed, Black Panther. It also has Jodie Turner-Smith. She was recently in Queen and Slim. That was a really good movie too. Jamie Bell. This is I think the second time that he's worked with Michael B. Jordan.
Is he the Thing, right?
Yeah, he was the Thing in that Fantastic Four movie that did awful. He played the Thing, and Michael B. Jordan played the Human Torch.
Yeah,
and the other person in the film is Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce is an outstanding actor. He was in Christopher Nolan's Memento. L.A. Confidential is
so good.
Yeah, L.A. Confidential was like one of the first movies that people in the United States got to see him in. And then he's on a show that I believe airs on BBC called Jack Irish, but it's also on Netflix, and that's a pretty entertaining show. I haven't watched them all, but yeah, that's basically what I was going to just say. That Tom Clancy trailer. I love Tom Clancy stuff. I love the Jack Ryan stories. Me too. Back in the day, I played a ton of Rainbow Six on Xbox 360. I was actually on a team that won some. Like we played in tournaments and we won some money. We were pretty good, and I stopped playing for a while. After like the Xbox One came out, like we kind of all went our separate ways. And the fact, but I love Rainbow Six. I actually read like even though Tom Clancy's passed, I still read the books, like the stories that they continue on. So I cannot wait for this movie. And I can't wait for Jack Ryan season 3 to come out. Too, but I'll let you guys, we got about 5 minutes, so I'll let you guys just go real quick and tell me what you're going to be watching this week or weekend, or if any of this stuff interests you. But go ahead.
For me, I'm going to start binge watching probably what they're saying, and they announced in this anime world for this version of Pokemon Journey is part 4 came out today, and it's a 12 episode thing, and rumor has it that they're ending this section of Pokemon Journey and they're going to do something like what they did with X, Y, and Z, and then transfer over the rest of the stories that are going on now in Japan into a different branch of it. The other thing is that I finished. What I'm waiting for is the Japanese version, because I've been doing a lot of anime recently. My Hero Academia is supposed to drop season 5 this month at some point.
Oh, cool.
Or this month or next. And the one thing I just got into, and I'm already on part 2 of it, is Sword Online, which is really good. But I'm hoping to get more information for The Witcher. This season is supposed to be the biggest season they've done, more dramatic, more high end. But there's like a couple of shows I'm hoping to hear more about. One, I say this name of this show and people just look at me weird. Sex Education. I'm wanting to know more about that because Netflix has had Gillian Anderson on different shows. They've had her on The Crown. They've had her on a few others. So I want to see where that goes. But other than that, I mean, there's not really much on regular TV that's exciting me. It's the only thing that's been exciting me more is just watching stuff on YouTube. But anime wise, that's pretty much what I've been watching constantly recently.
I'll say TV wise, there's not much like to get excited about, but movie wise, just for this month, I finished WandaVision today, the season finale, the series finale.
That's what I'm gonna be.
No spoilers.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to be doing too. Is that I've watched some of it, so I'm going to go back to 1 and watch 9 and binge watch because of what's coming up in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I'm not going to spoil it. We all know it's going to lead into the phase 4 of MCU movies. That's pretty much obvious. So we don't need to spoil that. So I just finished WandaVision. I saw Coming to America after WandaVision. I liked it, but I know a lot of people didn't have the same. A lot of people didn't like it. Some people just said it was okay, 5 or 6 out of 10, whoever does the reviews based how their criteria for reviews. So, But this month, 2 weeks, like Throwback says, Winter Falcon and Winter Soldier, but the day before, the real Justice League movie. Not the one we got in 2017. The real Justice League movie that we should have got.
The 4-hour one, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to wrap it up because Smackdown is coming on. Well, like I said earlier, before really when the show started, I wanted this to be the first episode, but again, it's the pilot, co-pilot. Production wanted to see another pilot episode before they greenlit the show. So I apologize for that. If it's something that you care about, I apologize. I'll be more prepared next time, and I think we're getting. I like the way it's heading, so that's a good thing. I feel a lot better this week than I do about last week, so that's going for us. And
to give you a compliment too, it seems like from the pilot show to this one, you're more comfortable on Friday nights than being somewhere in between, especially with how busy you are early in the week. But I think Fridays are perfect for you.
Man, it takes time, right? It takes time.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I won't be like spectacular out the gate, and that's I get that, but yeah, it is what it is right now, and I just want to say thank you for watching. We appreciate it, and if you want to ever try to host your own show, if you watch this and you have it, and we at least know you. Or if you become familiar with us, we'll give you a shot. That's something that Throwback did, and the show's coming on now. So I'm going to wrap it up, but we do appreciate it, and we will see you next week. So thank you.